Resilience. I've said it about Manchester United for years. If there is one word to totally encapsulate the spirit of Manchester United, the word is resilience. Think about the word, think about what it means. Think about Manchester United's history. The word that totally chimes with who they are is resilience. And when Manchester United are at their purest, when Manchester United are at their best, they are nothing if not resilient. Now, against West Ham, they didn't play well. They had the opportunity to go, a couple of points behind Manchester City into third, and they missed the opportunity. But what did they do? You can't play brilliantly every week. They aren't a good enough team to do that. Michael Carrick isn't yet a good enough manager to guarantee that. But when it isn't going their way, when they're a little bit off it, when things aren't necessarily going as they should, they can find that spirit. And what they did tonight was so in keeping with who they are. They are effectively back to themselves. They are adopting a never say die attitude. When Manchester United are themselves, a game is never out of reach, regardless of how long's left, regardless of how badly they're playing. And I think tonight, it shows you that Michael Carrick is instilling Manchester United back into Manchester United. He is putting the purity of Manchester United, the DNA, what it is supposed to be Manchester United, back into the club. When the club were good, it was Michael Carrick's era. Most Manchester United fans, I think, would concede that the best Manchester United team ever was Michael Carrick's team. The team that Michael Carrick was in, that won the European Cup in 2008, is the best Manchester United team. Gary Neville played in both. He played in the 99 team, that was mesmerising, by the way, an absolutely elite level team that won the treble. Gary Neville played in both. Gary Neville said that the best team was the 2008 team. The 2008 team was reliant upon the brilliance and world-class properties of Michael Carrick. So Michael Carrick knows what Manchester United are. He knows what Manchester United are supposed to be. He knows that Manchester United are an institution that demand the best from the top down. They're not there yet, but he knows what is supposed to be said in that dressing room. And we could tell by the end of the game that they were themselves, because they fought until the bitter end and they never gave up. Like, a game was never out of reach with Ferguson. Fergie time is a thing. The concept of Fergie time exists, and it exists for a reason, because Manchester United are resilient. And what did we see today? We've just seen Benjamin Cesco score a goal in the dying embers of the game. Doesn't that tell us exactly who they are? And then, if you think about what Manchester United were under Fergie, they would have the belief and the desire and the wherewithal and the heart and the tenacity and the spirit to fight to the end. And then they would have the world-class quality to make that desperation to succeed pay off. How many times in injury time under Sir Alex Ferguson did Manchester United turn defeats into draws and draws into victories? Like, how many times? It was a thing that they would do constantly. They would have that relentless desire to win. And they would fight, and then they would have world-class quality. Tonight, they fought, and then in Benjamin Cesco's finish, they displayed world-class quality. I didn't anticipate Benjamin Cesco being able to score a goal of that quality. Like, it's not quite goal of the season, but that is one of the best goals that you will see this season. Like, there are some serious contenders. Some serious goals have been scored. You think about the goal that was scored by Fulham against Liverpool. You think of the goal that was scored by Dominic Szoboszlai the other day. There have been some outrageously good goals scored this season. But you will struggle to find a better finish, just a pure, perfect finish, than the one that was scored by Benjamin Cesco in East London tonight. That is a goal that Manchester United greats of a bygone era would be incredibly proud of. Like, that is a goal fitting for a player of Eric Cantona's quality. It's a goal fitting for Wayne Rooney. It's a goal fitting for Ruud van Nistelrooy. So you are seeing an element of what Manchester United used to be. And the reason that you're seeing it is because they no longer have a fraud in charge. The reason that you're seeing it is because they are playing their best players in their best position. The reason that you're seeing it is because the principles of Manchester United are returning to the club. This nonsense, five at the back, this nonsense, Kobbie Mainoo on the bench, this nonsense of playing Bruno Fernandes deep, this nonsense of blaming Benjamin Cesco, which is what Amorim used to do. You know, when you see Benjamin Cesco putting in this performance, when you see him scoring goal after goal, you have to ask yourself, why? How is this happening? Part of the reason is because of the brilliance of Carrick. Carrick is making this happen. Carrick has done this by intelligently protecting Cesco, rather than throwing him in the deep end like Amorim did, rather than throwing him in the deep end like Amorim did to Rasmus Højlund. You protect him, you nurture him. And I read a great article about this Travis fellow who is working daily with Cesco, playing Mbeumo up front to protect and take the pressure off Cesco, and as a result, they are now reaping the rewards. And you can see that Manchester United are back adopting the principles that made them great previously. And the fact that they're scoring goals of that quality and doing it so late, it shows you quite how impressive it all is. And then people are disappointed. I think the reaction is very interesting here because Manchester United fans, and they're right, Manchester United fans seem to be a little bit disappointed with this performance. You wouldn't have been disappointed with 4 wins and a draw out of 5 games if Ruben Amorim was a manager. You would be celebrating it. And those Ruben Amorim disciples would be telling me quite how brilliant the manager is, quite how wonderful the manager is, quite how progressive and noble the vision of Ruben Amorim is. Those idiot hipsters that backed Amorim would be very happy with this. So under Carrick, you're not going to win every game. You're not a good enough team to do that. But if you can win 4 and draw 1, that is an outrageously good record. You could have only dreamed of 4 wins in 5 games when Carrick took charge. And it's amazing how normal services resume so quickly. The standards of Manchester United are being instilled into the club. United, the way that I see them, the behemoth club, the British footballing institution, they should be disappointed with a point at West Ham. But this version of Man United, they shouldn't. They could have easily lost a game like that. So I think overall, it's a really, really good period for Michael Carrick. And I think that he deserves to be considered for the job. I'm not saying give him the job. I'm just saying he deserves an interview. He deserves to be considered. He has somehow taken Manchester United into a position where they are only 3 points off third. It's almost now likely that they will make it into the top 4. There is a serious possibility that they will make it into the top 4. They're touching Manchester City above them. You know, Chelsea dropping points tonight, Manchester United dropping points tonight. I guess that's going to be seen as being good news for the likes of Villa and Liverpool. But ultimately, I feel like Manchester United should be really pleased with the way that it is going for Michael Carrick. And there are little tweaks that Carrick is making that I think show us and demonstrate to us that he is worthy of consideration for the job long term. He is getting it right. He's getting almost everything right. I mean, it's a good time for Manchester United. It really is. You know, you think about the substitutions that Carrick is making. He constantly on the front foot trying to make substitutions to win the game. Never, ever giving up on getting something out of the game. Making substitutions that make an impact. So I think it's really impressive. And then you look at the form of Kobbie Mainoo. I think that he has just been a revelation. How Kobbie Mainoo can come into a team and play so well and just ooze class. I think Kobbie Mainoo should go to the World Cup. I just think he's a brilliant, brilliant player. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to do a video on this. Will you do me a favour? Will you like this video? I'm going to do a video on Kobbie Mainoo now. If you like this video. If enough people think it's a good idea, I'm going to do a video exposing the fraud that is Amorim and celebrating the brilliance of Carrick via the lens of Kobbie Mainoo. How Amorim could have a player like Mainoo sitting on the bench. It's a travesty. A travesty. And fair play to Michael Carrick throwing him in the deep end. The second that he's in the deep end, he performs immediately. He doesn't take his time. He slots seamlessly into that midfield. And I honestly think that he should be going to Thomas Tuchel's World Cup team. Like this video if you like the idea. I'm going to do a proper video on it that will be released tomorrow because I think Kobbie Mainoo is a class act. It's a good day for Manchester United. I don't think anyone... Well, there's one man who could be disappointed. There is one man that could be disappointed with the way that it is going, and his name is Frank Illett. He is the Stretford hair style, or the United strand. I got my Stretford paddocks and my United strands muddled up. Yeah, I mean it's over, isn't it? It's over. I understand what he's doing. I understand that he's having some fun with it. I wish him well. I never ever have a pop at anyone who's making a business for themselves, making some money for themselves, raising some money for charity. I say good luck to him. But I think he should have a haircut now and pack it in. I think it's over. I think he's made the statement. He's made the noise. He's got the followers. He's got more followers on Instagram than Paul Scholes. Like, he's done really well out of this, and he's raising some money for charity, which is always a noble thing to do. And I wish him well on that. I'd love to meet the bloke, right? But shave it off now. Donate the money to charity. Pack it in. It's over. It was a funny concept at one point. It's gone too far. And the fact now that it is bleeding into the actual football club. The fact now that journalists, I mean, they're idiot journalists for doing this, but journalists are asking the Manchester United manager about a fan having a haircut? You're immediately thinking of the Oasis song, "Where Did It All Go Wrong?" Aren't you? Like, how is this a thing? How are we asking the manager of a football club about whether or not a fan is going to have a haircut or not? The geezer hasn't had a haircut for 493 days. I don't care. I literally don't care. I can't talk about this. It's always good to raise money for charity, though, so I wish him well on that. But it is time to, quite frankly, pack it in. Too harsh? Let me know your thoughts on that. Overall, I think it's a good day for United. I really do. You nick a point in the dying seconds of a game, it can't be seen as a bad day at the office. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll be looking forward to reading them. And remember, let me know in the comments as well. Shall I make this video on Kobbie Mainoo? I think it could be an interesting one. Have yourselves a wonderful night.